For today's video, I've played every version of Wrath Aeon of Ruin, which is a legit old school boomer shooter that truly comes alive in VR. It's fast, frantic, with difficulty levels that are actually game changing, and if you're a fan of pixel art, this is absolutely gorgeous to see in virtual reality. And that is regardless of what platform you play it on, but while saying that, each platform does have slight differences to each other, and I'll get into those shortly. Team Beef have also added some very interesting visual options, which I've not seen available before on PSVR2 and Quest, because they've added an in-game resolution slider. This is nothing new to PCVR users, but on Quest and PSVR2 you can push the resolution up to 200%, which does have some trade-offs, but honestly nothing crazy, and I actually think it's a very welcome feature, as it's only introduced some minor frame drops in certain areas, and this led me to try and find my own sweet spot for each platform. However, while I was writing this all down, I did message Team Beef, and they are now going to remove this option from PSVR2, and I believe it's because if you turned it all the way up to 200%, you do get some weird effects, which is apparently something to do with Unity. Either way, it's great to see visual options are even being considered for PSVR2 and Quest 3, so I hope this feature returns at some point. Plus, they added an awesome gun cam shake effect, similar to Exoshock, which I personally love to see and use in VR. But if you suffer from VR motion sickness, go easy, give it a try, and see how you feel, because this might trigger you to feel a little bit uneasy. So let's get into the review covering gameplay, negatives, followed by platform specifics, and then my final thoughts. You play as the Outlander, tasked with purging a dying world of its corrupted guardians, which basically means moving extremely fast, killing everything with a variety of weapons, over 15 chapters with 3 boss fights. Now I've played the first 5 chapters and that's took me nearly 4 hours, so this is a pretty big game with a lot of content and tons of secrets. If you're the sort of player who wants to check everything and everywhere, you will get hours out of this game. There is a navigation helper which will keep you progressing, but I honestly try not to use it as I prefer exploring the game. Wrath is, though, as you would expect, very much a Quake and Doom-like gameplay affair. You need to grab coloured keys, find all the secrets, and get to the portals. But as I said at the beginning of the video, the difficulty levels make a huge impact on the gameplay. So I've no idea how long it would take someone to beat this game if they were, say, playing on Outlander mode, because for me personally, medium is enough of a challenge. One of the things that make this game stand out to me over just being a Quake clone is the items you collect, and they give you limited abilities, such as every kill gives you more health, or there's a temporary deflector shield, and being able to save your progress at any point using the souls you collect is very cool and plays a massive part of your progression. In terms of why anyone should play this in VR versus a flat screen though, it's all about having physically solid weapons that absolutely sound fantastic, and being able to dual wield these weapons in VR. Plus, if you two-hand the pistol, you get a deadly triple shot, which is pretty cool to see, but the real star of the show is the blades that spring from your hands and the slow-mo ability. The blades are not only great for slicing and dicing, or they can be used to protect you for a limited time, it's the dash ability which I absolutely love to use. If you hold the grip button to extend the blades and then pull the trigger, you can charge up the dash mode, but you can also kind of cheese it, where you can quickly flick your fingers on the grip and trigger in combination to just fly around the level so much quicker, and the more you play, the better muscle memory you get. And the first level, for example, that took me almost 47 minutes to get through, I soon got down to 28 minutes. And so far in my playtime, every chapter has introduced either a new weapon, a new enemy, or a new mechanic like zero gravity gates, which was awesome. So basically, the more you play, the better and faster you become at killing, and the slow-mo feature is the best slow-mo in any VR game I've played so far. There's only 3 games that I've really loved slow-mo in, and that's Max Payne, Hard Bullet, and Blade and Sorcery. But now, Wrath Aeon of Ruin can join those games. It's insanely satisfying getting those slow-mo kills, and overall it just never gets boring. Even playing the first 2 chapters 3 times over on every platform never got boring, and I think that's saying something. There's all the comfort options you would expect, but there's no teleport from what I could find. As for negatives, there really isn't much to say, which is refreshing. I had no crashes, no glitches, and the only issue I come across was to do with the resolution slider on PSVR2 in combination with bloom effects, which can be turned on and off on all platforms. But I'm not sure why you'd want to turn the bloom effects off, so maybe when this game releases, that option will be removed along with potentially the resolution slider. As for platform specifics, on PCVR this game looks great as you would expect, but it isn't the best looking in terms of bloom effects. On PSVR2 in terms of colour and the bloom effect, this is the best, but regardless of what resolution you set it to, the Quest and PC versions visuals are sharper, but this is most likely due to the pancake lenses found on Quest 3. But on Quest and PC, the bloom effect is there, but it's much much more subtle. But as a trade-off, both PC and Quest do seem to have a smoother frame rate, which is very surprising. Overall, there is no standout platform. If you want more colour and bloom, go with PSVR2, plus you get adaptive triggers. But if you want a sharper image and a slightly smoother looking frame rate, go with Quest and PC. Either way, I'm basically splitting hairs because overall Team Beef have done an incredible job porting to all three platforms at once to a very high quality standard, with no bugs and no issues, which I think is very rare these days. At $20, Wrath Aeon of Ruin gets an absolutely massive buy recommendation from me, and I hope they don't stop porting here. I would love to see games like Duke Nukem and Shadow Warrior get this same sort of love and come to all VR platforms in the future. Well, that's all I've got for today. Thank you to everyone who likes and subscribes. If you want to pick this game up on Quest 3, use code GTVR to save yourself 10%, and I'll see you all on the next one.